Hey everyone, welcome back to Oli Chronicles. Today we're diving into a deeply disturbing story that's been making waves in China, a massive scandal involving the illegal theft and sale of thousands of human bodies. Grab a seat because this is going to be a wild ride. Imagine this. You're grieving the loss of a loved one. You've said your goodbyes, watched as they're taken to be cremated, and received what you believe to be their ashes. But what if those ashes weren't really your loved one at all? What if their body had been stolen, dismembered, and sold off piece by piece? This nightmare scenario is exactly what's unfolding in China right now. Let's break down this macabre tale. Our story begins in Shanxi province, where a company called Shanxi Aorui Bio-Materials Co has been operating since 1999. On the surface, they seemed legitimate, producing medical materials for bone grafts and implants. But beneath this facade lay a horrifying secret. From 2015 to 2023, Shanxi Aorui allegedly engaged in a massive criminal enterprise, illegally acquiring bodies and body parts from various provinces across China. We're talking thousands of corpses here, folks. But it gets worse. These bodies weren't just being stored, they were being brutally dismembered, stripped of flesh, washed, irradiated, and processed into medical products. Now, you might be wondering, where were all these bodies coming from? Well, that's where this story takes an even darker turn. The company had apparently set up a vast network involving multiple crematoriums, hospitals, and even medical schools. One of the key players was a man named Su, who controlled 4 crematoriums across different provinces. These crematoriums were supplying over 4,000 bodies to the operation. Just let that number sink in for a moment. But it wasn't just crematoriums. Even respected medical institutions were implicated. A deputy director at the Liver Disease Center of Affiliated Hospital of Qingdao University allegedly sold over 10 bodies to Shanxi Aorui between 2015 and 2021. Each body fetched between 10,000 to 22,000 yuan. That's about $1,400 to $3,000. And then there's the Guilin Medical University. An employee there reportedly sold 322 bodies to Shanxi Aorui at 10,000 yuan each. The college was buying these bodies from local crematoriums for just 900 yuan apiece, about $125. They were literally profiting off the dead. The scale of this operation is staggering. When police finally cracked down on Shanxi Aorui, they seized 18 tons of human bone materials and semi-finished products, along with over 34,000 finished products. The company had raked in a whopping 380 million yuan. That's about $53 million from 2015 to 2023. But perhaps the most chilling aspect of this story is how these bodies were obtained. Many were unclaimed corpses or bodies of people whose families couldn't afford proper burials. Some crematoriums were even holding onto bodies that were meant to be cremated, telling families there was a backlog, while secretly selling the corpses. This scandal has sent shockwaves through Chinese society. People are horrified, wondering if the ashes they received were really their loved ones. The breach of trust, the violation of cultural norms around death and burial, it's hard to overstate how deeply this has affected people. The case is still unfolding, with 75 suspects currently under investigation. But many are questioning how such a vast operation could have gone undetected for so long. It raises serious questions about oversight and corruption in China's medical and funeral industries. What's particularly frustrating for many is that under current Chinese law, the perpetrators may face relatively light sentences, potentially less than 3 years in prison with no fines. This has led to calls for stricter penalties and better regulation. As this story broke, Chinese authorities quickly moved to censor news reports and social media discussions. Many articles disappeared, replaced by 404 not found errors. It's clear that the government is deeply uncomfortable with this story spreading. So, what can we take away from this gruesome tale? First, it's a stark reminder of the potential for corruption and exploitation in any system, especially when dealing with vulnerable populations. Second, it highlights the importance of strong oversight and regulation in industries dealing with human remains. But perhaps most importantly, it's a human story. It's about families who trusted a system to care for their loved ones in death, only to have that trust betrayed in the most horrific way imaginable. It's about the commodification of human bodies and the ethical lines we draw as a society. As we wrap up, I want to hear from you. How would you react if something like this happened in your country? What measures do you think should be in place to prevent such abuses? Let me know in the comments below. That's all for today's episode of Oli Chronicles. If you found this story as shocking as I did, please like and share this video. And don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the stories shaping our world. Until next time, stay curious and stay informed.